All right. Well, hey, Coaches Up for Change. It's Dee Corchin, and I am happy to be here with you guys. It is Monday, October 31st. It's Halloween. So we wanted to just keep our momentum going. It's been so good to have everybody on our calls. We know some people have littles that they're out trick-or-treating with, and that's the great thing and the flexibility with what we get to do, right? That we can spend time with family. So this is being recorded for those that couldn't be on, but glad you guys are here, everybody that made the decision to be here. But as everybody's signing in, I want to show something fun. Actually, it was pretty impactful. It was shared in Coaches Up for Change by Vicki Feldman, and who's going to be leading us tonight. And then you might have seen other people share it. But the thought is that this is a theatrical interpretation about trauma and also resilience. But I feel like it could apply to so much of us and our personal growth, etc. So I just thought we'd take a few minutes and watch it. So let me pull it up real quick. If you can't see it or something, or if the volume, turn it up on your side. But if you can't see it, somebody just pop off mute and let me know. All right. Have you guys seen that before? Yeah. I don't know about you. I felt like I've taken that pretty big fall quite a few times, right? And then you can't get up and you can't get up and you can't get up. And it's one step up and then three steps back. But you know what? That's part of the journey, right? That is life. It's part of our growth as humans, part of our growth as business owners and all the things. So just before we turn it over and get started on our topic, y'all, I just want to congratulate you. First of all, put a 10 in the comments if you are part of the Ultimate 10-Pound Challenge. Put a 10 if you decided to be a part of that and take your health next level. So yay, look at that. So we had 97 of us sign up for that together, and the feedback has been phenomenal. We did the survey today. You guys are loving the pods. About half of you have responded so far. We did have a Google form for your week 1 results, but just wanted to shout out that together, guys, so far 100.7 pounds have been lost. Over 100 pounds. That's like a person, right? That's amazing. A petite person, right? Like Vicki, like Vicki Feldman, right? But very good. And so don't forget, we've got our Drop a Turkey challenge coming up. We have 109 people registered for that already. So promote it. What's really cool is we've got our own challenge going, so we can say, hey, we have a group of coaches that are doing it. We're 1 week ahead. We're down 100 pounds in 1 week. Just a lot of different ways to market that. And I found a Facebook Live I had done 5 years ago where I had done research that November 1st is the second highest start a diet day compared to January 1st. And it's because so many people wake up feeling like, you know what, after today. So, so lots of opportunity there. And one other thing, just want to make sure that you know about the changes coming with Optavia. So on Wednesday, your clients that have ordered within the past 3 months, they'll be notified about the price increase that is happening. It is a nominal inflation price due to supply chain issues, transportation cost. I don't know about you, a lot of you guys said, I was kind of surprised it took this long for it to happen, but I think that we are really fortunate that Optavia is looking out for us, where the national average for inflation is 8.5%, and the national rate of inflation on food is 13%. Our price increase is an average of 5%. So it's about $1 per box on the essentials is probably where you'll see the biggest difference. But I think in the scheme of things, our mindset around it is going to be so critical. But the value of our health, the investment in ourselves, and the way we communicate that, really, there's no price tag on it. So I have coached for 11 years. We have had, it's a joke. It was like $200 to get started on program when I started. That's how low it was. Some of you guys have coached as long as I have. We've had so many price increases. It's usually, as long as we maintain a good attitude about it, it's usually seamless as we go through it. So I think that is it for now. I'm excited. We're going to have a lot happening over the next couple of weeks and months as we head into the first of the year. Zena, the price increase is effective on November 9th. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you? Do you guys get on Monday nights, it comes out about 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Are you on the Optavia e-newsletter? Do you get that? If not, I encourage you to contact Coach Support and tell them you want to be on it. But I also encourage you to read it if you don't, because there is jam-packed with information. But I don't know if you saw this. I wanted to show this tonight too. They did, oops, bear with me. Oops, sorry. Or we can watch the performance again. Hold on. All right, can you see this comparison chart? Somebody maybe pop off chat or pop off mute and let me know. Can you see the comparison chart?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I can't see you guys right now. This is a great chart they put us together for us. I'm looking at what a day of expenses cost for an individual at the grocery store and buying fast food, grocery store and fast food casual. I felt like it was really realistic in terms of the things that they chose. So just know that this is here for you. It's available in, I can actually post the link, but it's a great tool that if you're having a conversation with somebody about the cost of the program, that would be something that you could reference. So thank you, Optavia, for looking out for us, right? Always, always. All right. So we're heading into, we always call it, it starts with the candy corn. I think Vicki and I came up with this years and years ago when we used to host monthly meetings, and we always thought like it starts as a slippery slope after Halloween. So Vicki, you want to take it away with some tips for us as we start to navigate all this?
Yeah, can you all hear me? Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna share my screen, and just so you know that technology makes it like I am most nervous about being able to share my screen. So hang on a second and let me see. See, there I go. Hold on. Bear with me. Share.
We can see something, Vicki. We just don't see all like one of your slides, but it's blank.
All right. How about now?
Still the blank slide.
Okay. All right. Hang on one second.
You may want to stop and then start again.
How is that? No, you still can't.
Still can't see yet.
All right. Bear with me a second. Let me just try it one more time. Screen share.
Positive vibes to Vicki. She's getting out of her comfort zone. She's using PowerPoint. Y'all, right? We are health coaches. We're not professional like presenters. So I'm proud.
Well, so what here's the thing. My husband's like okay. Tell me if you can see this now.
You see the slide, but it's blank, Vicki.
Still blank. Okay.
Vicki, your IT department.
Yeah,
Vicki, it's like It's
Well-
like you've got your screensaver up. It's multiple colors. And at
Yeah,
the
no, I
top
can
of it,
see
it
it.
shows.
I can see it because I have, with this is my issue. So, I can probably share it here, but then I may not have control. Can you see this?
There you
Yeah.
go.
We see
Okay,
that.
are you seeing my, are you seeing? Are you seeing?
Play
Go
with
to that
stars.
little
Are we
icon.
good
Perfect.
now?
Perfect.
Yeah, if you go to that little icon. that
No,
looks
he's
like an
got,
upside
he's
down.
got me on two screens. That's my problem is I've got screen one and screen two. So can you see the surviving the holidays? Is that what you're seeing?
Yes.
You know what though, Vicky, it's not laid out like,
Like we were seeing. Okay, hold on, because I think it is. How about that? Wait. How about
There
that?
you go.
that's it.
Okay, so
Got
now I feel really good. I'm just going to talk. Okay, so everybody can still hear me, yes? Okay. So Dee had asked me to talk about surviving the holidays, and we kind of a long time ago, she said, came up with this. It all starts with candy corn. And you know, it's kind of like, and I think we all know that clients are like, oh yeah, I'm just going to wait until after January. I'm just going to wait until the new year because, you know, I've got Halloween's here, then Thanksgiving's here, then Christmas is here, and then it's New Year's. Like, why bother? And I'm sure that some of you have had some of that conversation with people. And, you know, as I thought about this, you know, really, when we talk to our clients, it's about four options, right? We know we can stay on plan. We all are involved right now, or a lot of us are involved with the pods. And I think everybody's really enjoying the pods. And look what's happened, right? In 1 week, we have 100 pounds down. So we know that we can stay on plan. We can stay in fat burn. We can continue to have progress with the expectation of less cravings, less highs and lows, and the stress of not having to manage all the holiday stuff. The next option would be, you know, what about a compromise? So going into a holiday, maybe you want the sweet potatoes. Maybe you want one thing that you're going to have, or maybe you're going to say, I'm going to, you know, have a little this, little that. I'm going to stay on plan the rest of the day. And you have some kind of compromise, knowing that it may kick you out of fat burn. But as we talk a lot about putting on that spare tire and just kind of getting back on the road and continuing on the journey, knowing that you have allowed yourself a little bit of wiggle room, but it's not going to derail you. And then we have over here at the bottom is about maintenance. I know I had a lot of conversations with clients over the summer who were going on a cruise or going, you know, to like an all-inclusive or just going on vacation. What if you came back and you were able to maintain and it wasn't an all or nothing. And wow, what if you were able to slide into January at your current, where you are currently, and not come in 10 pounds heavier because you have totally given it up. And then of course, we all know that the next option, of course, is I'm off the plan. So those are the things that I think those are the conversations worth having with our clients, because I don't know about you all, but and this happens all the time with me is, you know, the clients don't want to talk to you because they don't want to tell you that they got a plan because they had a holiday meal, and then it's hard to get back on. I mean, I think we would all agree it's really, really hard to jump back on once those cravings start settling back in, and then we're in this kind of hamster wheel. So to have the conversation now with our clients about what's going to happen, let's talk about this. What do you foresee happening? I love when I do 3-way calls with Dee with client tip calls. She always says, you know, what has the potential to get in your way for your success? Because it always gets people anticipating, because I think when you anticipate, it's much easier to have a plan. So I think that these are important things. It's like, you know, staying connected, and a lot of this is going to parallel us as coaches. And I think we all see this, right? We're all on this call right now. I realize that people will watch a lot of this replay because of the fact that it's Halloween, but staying connected with your coach, staying connected with your clients, the weekly calls, utilizing the dining out guide. I saw somebody posted today about how something counted at Jersey Mike's or something that I didn't even know was a thing that existed. And somebody responded with something out of the dining out guide. I didn't even know that that was there. I mean, I've looked at the dining out guide before, but when you're looking for your stuff, not necessarily what other people are looking for. And then posting fun recipes. This one at the bottom I saw posted somewhere, and it's utilizing the cheddar or biscuit. So sometimes recognizing that people can actually have fun and be healthy while making good choices. So I'm going to go through, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to ask Stacy, and I can only literally see, let me see if I can see more of you here. Stacy Gillen, can you pop off mute? I'm not going to mess with my screen slide, guys. So I hope that when Stacy starts talking, you can hear her, and that I'm going to leave this screen up because I don't want to spend another 15 minutes finding it. But Stacy Gillen is a coach on our team, and Stacy actually started her journey right around now. So I wanted to let her share kind of what her experience was. Stacy, can you come off mute?
Sure thing. Thanks, Vicki, and happy Halloween to all. And it's very fitting that Vicki asked me to share like why the holidays and why I chose to start now, because the holidays are big for me. I celebrate them very large. And I think that was my problem a little bit in why I now, I had found myself needing to start on program in November. So a little bit like Dee had mentioned, it starts with the candy corn and then all of the Thanksgiving celebrations. And so I actually chose to start on November 30th, 2020. So I'm almost coming up on 2 years, which is crazy to think about. But, really for me, and I think the connectedness with clients, it's interesting because for some reason, the momentum I'm having in my business right now is on the uptick, and I'm getting more clients actually signing. And I don't know if it's maybe because I feel like I'm a kindred spirit to starting during the holidays, but I think Vicki touched on it. Like, it's critical to kind of just understand that it's not all or nothing. And so understanding that, you only have those couple of meals that are going to get in your way. And so anchoring yourself into when there's not that celebration happening, being really good and diligent on program. I actually sent a text to my clients today that I just said, I'm thinking of you today. And I want you to remember, nothing tastes as good as reaching your goal weight feels. And that really hit a lot of clients today where they said, oh my gosh, I needed to hear that. Like, I needed that reminder of when I'm in a good fat burn of how great I feel. So that was pretty cool. And then my mantra and tagline for the holidays is focus on the fun and not the food. And so I texted that as well to my clients and just said, that's not what these celebrations are about. Focus on the fun. And so the other thing, and I don't know, Vicki, you might be touching on this, but probably the single most important thing that I utilized and I offer to my coaches during this time of the year is the 3-bite rule. And so that is critical when we talk about moderation, and I think many of us have heard that, but I know we have a lot of new coaches. It's that first bite that you savor, you say hello. The second bite, you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. And use that third bite to say goodbye. And so those were my little tips and tricks that helped me navigate from November 30th to reaching the first of the year and managing amazingly to drop 15 pounds. So it definitely can be good, but it's all about mindset as you start through the holidays. So thanks for letting me share, Vicki.
Sure. No, those are great tips. And I am sure that was also very powerful for people to watch you right after Thanksgiving through the month of December and dropping that weight, because while everybody else is going in the other direction, that's a testimonial. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. One of the things that I wanted to share is the rear view mirror. I'm a big fan of the rear view mirror. And so I had an experience last night. So I'm 100% on plan when I jumped into my pod. Who's loving the pods? Yes, loving the pods. So what's interesting is I'm with a group of people that I knew a couple peripherally, but not very well. And, all of a sudden it's like, I told them I was going to do this, right? It's that accountability. It's such a strong, I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but it's such a strong force for me right now. Although I'm not necessarily trying to lose weight. I'm just looking at some body composition. But I had an experience this weekend. It was my son-in-law's 30th birthday. It was the Florida-Georgia game. And we were all there. And there's this company here called A Piece of Cake, and it is the bomb. And they had cupcakes there. And I was literally like, it's almost like a magnet for me. And I had to walk away. I had a great conversation with somebody. And I was like, but by the time I got out of there, I was so like, and then last night I'm at my son's girlfriend's parents' house. And my daughter walks in, and what does she bring? All the leftover cupcakes from the night before. And here I was like, oh my gosh, if I didn't have to deal with it one night on the weekend, I now had 2 nights on the weekend. So, but what I started thinking about was, yeah, I could have a bite, but I told my group I was going to be accountable. Like I said, I was all in. But then I started thinking, how am I going to feel when I got to be the one to say, you know what, I kind of was on the ish, you know, and all the things that go through your head, and really just having integrity on what I said I was going to do. And then the other thing is like, you know, do we want to keep doing the same stuff? If that's what we always do, then what's really ultimately fundamentally going to change? So thinking about how am I going to feel an hour from now? But more, how am I going to feel? How am I going to feel in the morning? Right? How am I going to feel when I look back? Am I going to be really glad that, like, am I going to feel like, you know, I conquered, or am I going to feel like I'm in that vicious cycle? So I like the rear view perspective, because I think that it takes you out of the moment and puts you forward. You know, we always talk about leading from the future, you know, that it's that same type of thing. I want to talk a little bit about social events, and Stacy talked a little bit about this, but, you know, having a plan versus just, well, I hope they have something I can eat there, or I hope that they're not serving alcohol, or hoping is great. It doesn't really give you any traction. So having a plan before you go. I love the 3-bite rule. Stacy's already touched on that. So what's really interesting about that is, and I loved how you put it, Stacy, about the saying goodbye, because 3 bites I can't always say goodbye to, right? I find that there's some things where it's like, it's my slippery slope and my trigger. There are things I can't have 3 bites of caramel M&Ms, just not going to happen. So I think knowing the things that you could have that 3-bite rule, and knowing the things that are going to lead you to not a great course of action. So I think that discernment between that is really important. What are you going to do when a challenge comes? I was at a family's house last night I had never been to. Russian Jewish people that all they want to do is give me food. Okay, food. It was like, what are you going to have to drink? Here, have some of this. And they had this homemade dessert. And I said, you know what? I'm going to share with my husband, put it on his plate. And they did. They put on his plate. No one's watching me like a hawk to see, am I eating or am I not eating it? But it was because, again, you know, you're at somebody's house you don't know. You don't want to insult them. And here they clearly went to lengths of the earth to cook all this great food. But I was able to, like, spur of the moment, come up with that. I know Dee and I talked about a great way to respond to people is, you know what, I'm so full now, maybe I'll have some later. Sometimes we get caught up in what people think versus that sometimes they really don't care. It's our story that we're telling in our head. I think most of this is pretty common sense. But that having a plan and knowing what you're going to say to somebody when the challenge arrives, I think is key before you get caught off guard. We talked about focusing on family and food, family instead of food, bringing something that you know is on plan. Then you always have a safe bet if everything else there is not on plan. Hydration, and then you can always bring an extra fueling. Accountability partner. This is where I think those pods come back in. Like, that was my saving grace for 2 days, was my accountability group. So I think when you have a partner and you are working back and forth with each other, that can really help. I have a client that re-engaged today, and she was telling me she and her friend like literally text every day with their weight and what their workout's going to be. And I think that is huge. This really focuses on some physical things we can do, like where you're going to hold your water bottle, you know, where you're going to position yourself, right? Moving away from the table. Like, I moved away from all that dessert table and focused on the other half of the room where the football game was going on. You can wash dishes, you can help clean. I remember a long time ago, early on, when I started health coaching, we were sharing tips. And I remember somebody saying, eat an Altoid. Nothing tastes good after you have put an Altoid in your mouth. So probably not on plan, but probably better than anything else that you would continue to put in your mouth. So I wanted to pause here for a second, and I'm looking at the time, and I wanted to invite Mandy Mail to come off mute, because Mandy also started around this time of the year, and I wanted her to share her perspective about her decision to start at this time.
Thanks, Vicki. Can you hear me?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for allowing me to share. And this is also amazing so far. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to jump on and talk about like my decision to start. I actually started 2 years ago in the middle of October. So October 16th or something along those lines. And honestly, for me, it was kind of like, why not now? Why not? Right? Because I love food. When I say I love food, like my mother used.
We lost you, Mandy. Did she mute herself? I can't see
No,
her.
she's not muted. That's so weird. Something happened.
Is she frozen?
No, she's on a roll though. Did somebody put it in the comments? We can't hear her.
Let me text her. Is she still talking?
I think she sees us now that we've lost it. It's tech night for us, huh? Between the
I know.
audio and visual. It's okay.
It's probably her Bluetooth, her earbuds.
Something
Okay.
happened with it.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go to the next slide, and Mandy, interrupt when you come in.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I took the AirPods out. I think they were having a problem.
Okay. We heard your mother, and that's all we heard, your mother.
Yeah, so my mother used to call me her child with a hollow leg. So basically, I'm kind of up for a challenge, honestly. And at the holiday season, you know, obviously there's so much sugar and I really enjoy a lot of it. And, you know, when you talk about the rear view mirror, you know, those of you that know me know that I love to work out. Like I love to exercise. If I could just literally do that all day long, I would. And I don't like the way my body feels when, you know, I've had all the sugar, right? So it's really just motivation for me to like move through the holiday season and really have a plan and stay on it. And that doesn't mean that I don't partake in Thanksgiving or Christmas, right? I don't have little ones, so, you know, Halloween is really not an issue for me and I just stay away from the candy, right? And just don't touch it. But I'm gonna participate in Thanksgiving. When I go home for Christmas to see my family, we're gonna make breakfast. I'm gonna have breakfast, right? But overall, I'm gonna feel better. And for me, it's really about how I feel. It's about like the inflammation being out of my body. And I feel like at this time of the year, there's so many poor choices, right? That I just feel like it's like, why not? Why not do it now? Because I'm going to feel so much better if I do it now. And I just, you know, grab something here and there.
No, that's great, Mandy. Thanks for sharing. I think, but you know, it's very obvious when you talk about the why not now versus why now, right? Because a lot of people are thinking, well, why now? I should wait. And you're thinking, well, why not now? And that's that mental shift that we're trying to get clients to, but they don't always see that. So it's how to awaken them to contending with that through the holidays. So I want to talk a little bit about the other things, right? Because we're talking really about how to handle parties, how to navigate food, right? But keeping your body moving, whatever routine structure that you have, like if we can hold on, like what can we do, right? If we can hold on to routines, water, exercise, sleep, self-care, when we stay in structure and everything else, because, you know, when one thing starts to fall apart, it's like the thread that starts to unravel and then we're in real trouble. So I think one of the things we talk about is like, how do we keep clients aware of what's going on? They don't know that they can, why not me during the holidays? Because what have they done for their whole life? It's all unraveled during the holidays. So they don't even know that they can get through the holidays and not unravel. So that idea could be totally and completely foreign. But how would it feel to get through the holiday party? How would it feel to wake up on New Year's Day and have kept your weight neutral or even be down? So we want to paint the picture. And part of that, and again, I'm going back to our pods, is leading with our health, because we know when we lead with our health, people show up because they feel the energy. And then encourage your clients to post, because when they're sharing, more people doing what they're doing is just going to facilitate and lead everybody. It's surrounding yourself with all of those like-minded people, which is clearly an example of what we're doing here on this call. I wanted to share, I had a client one year say to me, oh my gosh, my kids are coming home from college and it's all about food. It's like, what restaurants are we going to? So they ended up going axe throwing, which I thought was great. Didn't involve food, involved physical activity, and they had a fabulous time. I know for us, we take out a family jigsaw puzzle every year, put it on the dining room table, and we just, go back and forth doing that. A very powerful movement that doesn't involve, it's not necessarily activity, but it's a family activity. And I'll tell you, you can look up and an hour's passed and you don't realize that, man, I really wanted that fueling. So it's a great way to pass through the holiday. There's we're going on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we're going to the Van Gogh Immersive Experience here in Atlanta. Again, a family thing to do. These are just some examples, but I think having people, again, we're trying to help them create new habits. What do they always do? Sit around and watch football and let the food digest. If we can get people in action and get them doing things, creating those new events. I know we're kind of right up on the time, but I wanted to talk, and Dee, I think I'm going to bump into you to talk about the vision Friendsgiving thing that on the 12th. But one more thing I just wanted to share, because we know that clients, at least I'm having some clients that I know are ghosting or starting to drift a little bit, leaving them a voice to text so they hear your voice, sending them a link for our Tuesday night call. Maybe it's something like from before, you're like, hey, I thought about you, thought this you might find this interesting. Send them a lean and green recipe for Thanksgiving. Acknowledge that there's a little bit of a disconnect. You haven't heard from them. You'd love to connect. And then the flip side, and Stacy kind of mentioned it right now, she kind of has an uptick, right? Those people may come back. They may come back 6 weeks. They may come back New Year's Day, but don't forget about the people that we think are not going to be interested that may really be ready to go because they're going to feel terrible tomorrow after all the Halloween candy. And then of course, with your current clients, we all know if you're helping other people, you're going to be on this call and you're going to be more successful. So always about exploring coaching. And it's 8:01 and I want to be mindful of everybody's time and doorbells ringing. But Dee, did you want to address the Friendsgiving vision board event?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Vicki, and thank you, Stacy, and thank you, Mandy. Great information tonight. Put a 1 in the chat if you're loving it and all the tips. It's helping you feel better about preparing. And I think that that's such a great reminder. Both Stacy and Mandy started during this time of year. So keep that mindset, right? What is it? What you think you attract or whatever we're thinking is going to happen in your business. So people are out there that are wanting to get started. And then these are great tips. The one thing we know, you guys, is that it is really time to move beyond social media. People want to be out and about. A lot of people aren't even checking social media as much as they used to. So we're really encouraging community and building community in your local communities. So Meg Johnson put together a great idea and a great document, which I'm going to put it, if you want to grab the link, I just put it in the comments. But really encouraging us, one great idea is to do a Friendsgiving and vision board night or day on Saturday, November 12th. Now, it doesn't have to be that day. If you've got a conflict, don't take yourself out, but you could do it in the morning. You could do it in the afternoon. You could do it in the evening. Invite your clients, invite candidates, invite people over. One, it's a way that you can show healthy options for Thanksgiving, right? As they're preparing for their holidays. But it also, vision boarding gets people thinking forward. What is it that they want to create? And that's what we're about, right? As transformation coaches, we are about creation. So I think it's a great idea. I know a couple people already have plans in the works. So, but that's the way that we build community. Next week, we're going to talk about preparing for your explosion in January. So we're going to be talking about different kinds of things that we can be doing now that are going to help us be out, build our brand, and be available for those that are looking to make change. We know come the first of the year, in addition to the ones that want it now. So thank you guys. It was so fun to see you guys here on Halloween night. So thanks for carving your time out. And for those of you guys watching it on replay, we'll see you during the week in the Facebook group, and we'll see you again next week on Team Time. Love you guys.